Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It is your boy CIZZ. You dig? Live action, Kansas City, Missouri. You feel me? We are back again with another episode of the Culture Talks TCT, baby. And I'm just happy because this week I actually brought a guest. You know how I be consistently making promises. Hey, I have a fire guest for y'all next week. Well, the past 2 weeks y'all had to deal with me solo, but not this week. This week we have the man. I'm not gonna say the myth, but I am gonna say the legend. You feel me?
Hey,
Dom Chronicles. What's the deal, my guy?
what's good, player? Doing all right,
How
man.
you feeling?
It's good, man. It's a lovely Sunday. The cool 55 degrees. You know what I'm saying? Trying to get right out here. Get the hair braided and done up.
Yes, sir. So
Got a lot in the works.
for those of you guys who are watching the video right now, we got some real cultural events happening on live screen right now. We're getting the hair braided. Mom's in the background
Yeah,
flexing,
shout out
flexing the
moms.
black queen beauty. You know what I'm saying? We lit here. The sunlight in Dom's video is on point. I don't know what type of crib he lives in. That light looked good.
Hey, I'm at her crib, so
Hey, her lighting is on point. I have the artificial light in my place. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, for sure.
Nah, man. So tell us how has life in quarantine slash COVID vibes been for you? It's like 7 months. We're like 7 months, 8 months in, and I
For
know for
sure.
a lot of individuals, life kind of changed as soon as March hit. So, what did that change look like for you, and how's it been? How you been handling it?
Well, I mean, for me, I'm like a homebody hermit anyway. You know what I mean? So, it just really forced me to get mad creative, and especially with the artistry since, we can't do shows. I had a show booked, like it was going to be my first KC home show in a minute, and it was booked and COVID happened literally like the whole lockdowns and stuff happened like, a week beforehand.
Yeah.
So we had to cancel, and so ever since then I haven't performed. Like my last performance was in Long Beach in February. So I'm really just itching to touch a stage, you know what I'm saying? And so it's just kind of forced me to get a little bit more creative with how I do stuff. And I don't mind being at the house. I don't mind, limited eating out and all that. So you know what I'm saying? Like I'm like that anyway. So it really didn't make a difference on me, like emotionally or mentally or anything like that. It's just a matter of like, what I do as a career choice. You know what I'm saying? It requires a lot more, person to person engagement with the shows, pop up shops and stuff like that. People been doing it and stuff like that, but I'm not trying to be responsible for nobody getting sick. So I haven't really like taken that role into trying to put something together. So I'm just kind of waiting patiently. So I'm cool with it.
I respect
Yeah.
that. I respect that.
Yeah.
And I do want to double back a little bit because one of my consistent listeners was complaining, hey, you should really kind of tell us more in depth what they do before you start the interview. So go ahead, go ahead and share with the people. I know they can kind of pick up based off of what you just said, but go ahead and share
For
with the
sure.
people a little bit about like, how you define yourself as a
Creative as an
creative
artist.
or
Yeah.
career artist. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I go by Dom Chronicles. I'm a producer, also a recording artist. I started off as a recording artist, but I'm a man of many things. I like to consider myself like more of a Renaissance man. Like I like to creatively direct things. I like to, book events and put stuff together. Like I have like a kind of like a big skill set, but for the most part, everybody knows me as a musician. So that's what I kind of go as. Kind of how people know me. They know I make music. I've been making music for a long time. I grew up making music. I grew up playing violin. I was in orchestra. I was in the choir. My mom made music. She was in the band. I got a lot of people in my family. So kind of just runs in my blood to, create and be an artist, you know what I mean? So that's what I do.
I love it. And so from my general research, it looks like you've been out here producing content, music, and just like creating for quite a while. Like your first music video I think I saw on YouTube is like 2012 or something like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
so so can you kind of talk about like when you started making music for real, like you like started taking time out of your day to create, and like a little bit about your evolution to now. Like, how do you think you've changed? What have some new interest in music? And yeah, just start from the beginning. Like, when
Word.
did you first start creating for real, for real?
Well, I tried the college thing. It really didn't work out for me at the point in time. You know what I'm saying? So I ended up getting a bunch of recording equipment, and I was just like, man, I always kind of rapped in high school. I'd always write raps. Me and my friends would kind of just put some little shit together. You know what I mean? But it wasn't nothing I really took seriously or like really tried to do until like I was about like maybe like 20. Um, I didn't know what I was trying to do as a career or anything like that. And I know just college wasn't really working out for me, but I was like, I've always like written, I've always, rapped, made music. Let me try to like really put my hand to it. So, I got my own recording equipment when I first literally started, you know what I mean? Like that's how I started. I went and got, my interface, my mic, was recording downstairs in my old room, the old house we grew up in and stuff, and really just from there, like as far as the evolution goes, lyrically, I just got better. You know what I'm saying? I started picking up making beats too. Like I didn't always make beats, you know, and then just started linking in the city and stuff because I'm from Kansas. I grew up in Olathe, so coming from Olathe to like the town, you know what I'm saying? I didn't really start kicking it in the city till I was like 19, you know what I'm saying? 18, 19, that's when, you just start meeting a lot of people that are just from the region in general. So I, really just started mingling in the city, started like kind of doing little shows and stuff like that, trying to like try my hand at stuff, and even before like putting out music and stuff back then was a lot different. You know what I'm saying? There was no streaming services. There was no Apple Music. There was none of that. You had Bandcamp, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
SoundCloud was there, but people like really wasn't hip to it like that at the point in
Dat
time.
Piff.
Dat Piff, you know what I'm saying? Shit like that. But also like just I remember we would like make projects and then we just put the link out and it was like a Lime links link. You know what I'm saying? You could download the whole project in zip file and then you put it on your iPod or your phone or like whatever like that. So that's how we used to put out music, and it was a lot different. There was no Instagram when I first started. There was Twitter and that was it. But it's just a lot different. I feel like the evolution of my music kind of grew with the evolution of the world. You know what I mean? Like how things changed, the technology changed, things became a lot more accessible. Now you got a lot of people recording themselves now. You know what I'm saying? You got a lot of people that make beats, and rap. You got a lot of people that do that. So like naturally, I had to evolve. I wanted to evolve with the world, and I always try to stay like 5 steps ahead, 5 to 10 steps. You know what I'm saying? So, it's just kind of for me like starting out as rapping. It really developed into a lot of things as far as like me trying to like do a lot for the culture of the city. You know what I'm saying? And like put cool events together. Like I love art. I love art galleries. I love just like just like bringing people together. I feel like ultimately is my gift, you know what I mean? So, and then I developed a a skill set in DJing as well. That's what I've been doing like the past like 3 years or so, like doing like DJ parties and stuff like that. So I've always wanted to be a multifaceted, multi-dimensional person when it comes to whatever I plan on doing. So that's really how it came to be, like I don't yeah, I just feel like, you just get better if you keep trying and you keep practicing.
Absolutely. Man, you touched on like so many things that I want to like dive into. That's like,
Yeah.
it's so funny because like with interviews, you're like, okay, there's somewhat of a time limit, but I have like 3,000 questions that just popped up based off of like 10 minutes of talking. So,
Oh,
but
for
we're
sure.
gonna double back a little bit. So I want to talk a little bit about something that I've like been talking to a lot of individuals about. So growing up in Olathe, and I from my experience with Olathe, a predominantly white area, and
For
like
sure.
a predominantly white schools majority. Like, what was that like growing up as a person of color? Like, did you ever have moments where you felt like there was an identity crisis? Was there ever
You
moments
know,
you dealt
to
with
be
like, yeah, go ahead.
to be honest with you, I mean, I feel like Olathe's kind of is predominantly white, but there's like where the section of Olathe where I grew up in, it was real diverse. You know what I'm saying? So like, I always grew up with like, I always had like Hispanic friends and black friends and white friends and Asian friends and like, you know, I like even in elementary school, I just had like a diverse group of homies. You know what I mean? And friends. I never really had like that type of issue, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, we've maybe like experienced like some racist situations, you know what I mean? But for the most part, like I feel like, I'm glad I got to grow up in such a diverse area so I can have, kind of like an outlook on many different cultures and stuff like that. Like I think I'm pretty blessed to grow up where I grew up. And yeah, it seems predominantly white, but like once you really get in there and like certain parts of town and stuff, it's not like that. You know what I'm saying? Like we still had to deal with MS-13 growing up and stuff like that because there was like, there was Hispanic gangs in Olathe. And then there was people that thought they were in gangs and you know
Which
what
is
I'm
a whole
saying? Like,
nother
yeah,
situation. I
it's a
feel
whole
it.
nother thing. Like, so and there was drug problems. Like I've had several friends OD, you know what I'm saying, in school, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, suicide rates, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like just because, a lot of people view Kansas as like, you know, like a silver spoon area, you know what I'm saying, or some shit like that. But it really wasn't like that. Like I had friends that like, that didn't eat nothing but ramen noodles. And then I had friends right across the street that, their parents were like alcoholics and shit, you know what I'm saying? And they had tons of money, but their kids just used to run rampant because like we would run rampant over there because the parents was never around, you know what I mean? So it's like everybody has they kind of like their own struggles and stuff. And yeah, it's cool to see both sides of the coin. Like it's crazy because like literally where I grew up on a street called Lincoln Street, you know, Lincoln and Harold, you know what I mean? So literally, okay, so my house was lower middle class, you know what I'm saying? I consider us growing up, like me and my parents, we were lower middle class and they worked really hard to be that, you know what I'm saying? My stepdad, he was a entrepreneur. He did his like lawn service and stuff, and my mom is in like she was in like the collections, the banking. She also was a nurse for a while, but they're from Kansas City, Kansas. So they moved out to Olathe just because the schools were a little bit better and stuff. And they, really sacrificed to get us to where that point is. So like where I grew up in Olathe, you can literally go across the street and there's, you know, bigger houses, and then you can go across to the other side of the street and it's all low income, you know what I'm saying? So like that's what I'll be talking about when it comes to Olathe, is like it's very diverse and mixed in, like, and you really don't know until you really get down there. Like you can be, you know what I'm saying, in the super low income neighborhoods like over here right to the left, you know what I'm saying, not even like 3-4 blocks away, and then like 3-4 blocks away from that you just have a whole suburb of big houses, you know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know. I just, that's how I grew up with all kind of walks of life, you know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
I'm just thankful of that.
Absolutely. I think our stories are extremely similar in that relation because I grew up in Independence.
Independent. That's what I was going to say.
Yeah,
Independence is similar,
yeah, exactly.
you
So
know?
it's very similar circumstances where sometimes like outsiders may come with their own perspective of, oh, like it's not blah blah blah. But until you really get in there
You
and
get
really
in there.
experience life, it's like, you know, again, like you kind of said earlier, like everyone has different struggles. There's different tests and difficulties in everyone's lives and everyone's communities. And I think having a diverse experience, and I think from the energy that I've picked up from you at like one or two events I've seen you at, met from, and then just from social, and then like right now, it's like when you're a type of individual who can really get along with anybody, it also
Mm-hmm.
provides you with the opportunity to be in every single group that there is, which really gives
Exactly.
you a perspective that no one else has. Because when you're accepted, allowed, and you're cool with, and you love everyone no matter what they look like or whatever they smell like or whatever
Yeah,
place they come
exactly.
from, you know what I'm saying? You can really experience like everything. You know, I have some friends, like you were saying, you know, I got friends who come from some good money, and I used to love going to their house growing up because I was like, hell
Yeah.
yeah, you live
They
in a
had the
mansion.
refrigerators was full, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
they had pantries. I was like, what the hell
Yeah,
is a
the
pantry?
pantry,
You know what I'm
right?
saying? Exactly. And like, and but then also having the friends over here, you know, who didn't even make it past 19, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Unfortunately. So it's
exactly.
like, so it's definitely sad and an advantage to just have experiences and like perspectives that are that differentiate you from, you know, a typical individual. Anyways, um also, so another question I had was you spoke on, wow, blanking. Let's talk about siblings. You have any siblings?
Yeah, I got actually I got two brothers
Oh, older or younger?
that I know about. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what my dad used to be doing,
I
you know.
understand. Are they
But
younger or older than you?
I got one older, one younger. Um the older brother, unfortunately, he's in prison right now. He was always in some hot shit, you know. So I really didn't get to spend a lot of time with him growing up. He's like basically okay, so like I have two brothers. I got one brother, same dad, different moms. And I got my younger brother, same mom, different dads. You know what I'm saying? So my younger brother, I grew up with my whole life. My older brother, I really see he over there looking at me right now. Uh, but my older brother, like I really didn't get to spend a lot of time with him because he was just always in some shit. You know what I'm saying? Always, you know, getting to it. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
you know, and that was and you know, he grew up in Wyandotte, and you know, it was like I don't know. He was just always in some stuff. But yeah, I got, you know, those are my siblings.
Yeah, what's it been like being an older brother? Do you feel like, you know, that shaped you in a different way or provided you with new perspectives on life or provided you with new experiences that you know, might see as like developmental or helpful when you have a kid of your own? I know y'all probably not that big of a age difference, but I'm just saying,
Nah, yeah, it's like
yeah,
2 years, 3 years.
yeah.
You know what
But
I'm
what's that
saying?
been
I
like?
mean,
Talk about that experience. I know he's right there in the room, but like talk about that
I
experience.
mean, like it's cool. You know what I'm saying? Like it's cool. Someone to look after. You know what I'm saying? He used to try to copy me a little bit. You know, growing up with the style. You know, he tried skateboarding too. You know what I'm saying? You know, like and you know, but the cool thing is about like having, you know, a younger sibling too is that like they teach you a lot of stuff that, you know, like my love for cars came from him.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? My love for Gundams came from him. You know what I'm saying? And like, you know, we're also like we were like kind of similar, but we're definitely opposite, you know what I'm saying? Even in our signs, you know what I'm saying? He's a Capricorn, I'm a Cancer. So we definitely had love-hate relationships at point in times, you know what I'm saying? But just like little brothers do, you know. But he's definitely like showed me a lot about like, you know, myself and you know, there's a lot of stuff I'm into now because of him. You know what I mean? And you know, I love being a big brother. I love to I'm hope he loves being my little brother. You know what I'm saying? But you know, and there was also the thing to where everybody thought he was older than me all the time. Yeah, like he just looks older than me. Yeah,
That's how
yeah,
it
but
is. That's how it is with one of my brothers. Like there's a whole 7 year difference, but everyone thinks we're either twins or that I'm older because I'm like taller, my beard's a little bit thicker, like
yeah,
I look a little bit more rough than he does. It's
yeah, exactly.
like
Yeah,
so
for
it's
sure.
funny. So let's double back to 19, 20 years old where you start like becoming more active in like the Kansas City community, music community. Can you talk a
Hmm.
little bit about, so I was listening to one of your old podcasts and you mentioned something talking about the Hoodstock house party,
Oh my
never,
God,
which I've never heard about, you know. Also, I'm
legendary
quite a few
shit.
years younger than you as well. So it's
Yeah.
so can you kind of
Well,
speak on what that what that was like, and then
man,
also
Hoodstock was crazy.
your early
Man,
history?
well, the thing is with Kansas City, like back then, like you talking about 2010,
Hmm.
there was nobody doing shows. You wasn't getting paid if you was. And then everywhere was like pretty much 21 and up, you know what I'm saying? So like we really couldn't get do our own shows. So like, you got a ton of vets out here, like, me, Abnorm, you know what I'm saying? There's a couple people in the city that like we just been at it for a minute. And we started at a time where there wasn't like a lot of this shit wasn't available. You know what I'm saying? You couldn't just book a show at Record Bar. You couldn't just book a show at fucking Encore Uptown. You know what I'm saying? Like people wasn't getting opening gigs like that unless you were like Ron. You know what I'm saying? Like, or like the Greg enemies back then, you know what I'm saying? Those were the people that were kind of like on the top back then, as far as like locally, your Dutch Newman, Greg Enemy, they were opening up all the big shows. Like, and that's when, Cool Kids was popping. You know what I'm saying? There was a whole nother era of rap in 2010 and 2011, 2012, like that era. And that's kind of like the era of rap and music that I stick to. And that's what I try to make. You know what I mean? Because that's what like, really made me want to like, you know, try my hand, you know what I'm saying? Like the Wiz Khalifa, the Currency, the Dom Kennedy, the, Sir Michael Rocks, you know what I'm saying? Like those type of people are like what made me really be like, yo, like I think I can really do this rap shit because, there's like, just dudes that aren't like necessarily talking about being in the club all fucking day and shit and like, just different shit, like nerd shit, you know what I mean? And like listening to MF Doom and like, shit like that. We realized there was like a whole nother lane. But with Hoodstock, man, Hoodstock was just kind of like an opportunity that it was my friend Sierra. And she used to throw Hoodstock once a year. And it'd be like she'd just get like some of the dopest rappers, bands, and stuff like that, big ass house, and we would just perform all in the front yard and get fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Like there was definitely beer, niggas was smoking. You know what I'm saying? And it was just kind of like they would block off, like not the whole block, but like there'd be the house, but like out to the street. You know what I'm saying? It'd get blocked off, and it'd be like a little block party. You know what I mean? And like it was just cool opportunity for us to like get our shit off, you know what I mean? Because there wasn't a real opportunity to do that, you know what I mean? Like, especially when you was just starting out and putting out music and shit like that. So, get little CDs off, you know what I'm saying? And that's how I met a lot of people in the city, is just by coming out here, coming out there doing little shows like that, little house party raps, you know what I'm saying? And fucking like just meeting a ton of people skateboarding too, you know what I'm saying? I'm pretty like, I know a lot of people in the skate scene just from like coming up and skating, like you got your Ride Forever, you got your Escapists, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just kind of like mingling in the scene. And that I feel like Hoodstock was like that party in that show, kind of like where everybody kind of like came together. You know what I mean? And it was dope, for the same reason. Everybody wanted to hear some cool music. Everybody wanted to meet a bunch of people. So, and it was a cool ass fucking name. It was off Truce. I don't remember exactly like what the address or location was, you know what I'm saying? But it was off Truce, by UMKC. So, we just used to go in. Like it was a once a year thing. I think there was like only like 3 of them though. I don't think there was too many of them, but it was definitely an experience for sure.
Cultural moment in Kansas City for sure.
Yeah, it was a moment for sure, because it's like, that was like one of the first things that I experienced where artists came together, and it was just like someone who just believed in like the rap scene in Kansas City and knew we didn't have like an opportunity to do a lot. They came together and just provided a platform. They provided all the mics, the stereo, like all that shit, like all the speakers and all that. Like we just kind of got our shit off like that.
I love it. I love it. Can you share who you think are some individuals who have really pushed the creative scene forward in Kansas City, like outside of yourself?
For sure.
Is there any people that you really, whether you look up to them or you're just thankful for them pushing the culture forward here?
Man, shit, I'd have to give it up to my nigga G Watts. You know what I'm saying? One, and even some of the new cats. You know what I'm saying? Like Kai Colors, Ashawn. You know what I mean? The Black Star kids are coming up right now. Those are the kids that are really like keeping me on my toes right now. I'm like, oh, I got to keep going. And but back then, like you got your Greg Enemy. You got JL, you know what I'm saying? Uh, man, like, a couple people from the Strange camp, like they're, that I'm cool with, but, then there's also like, Steady P, and then there's like, he was with Indie Ground. He signed me it was like a small indie label. And through that's how I got a lot of my tour routing and met a lot of people from out of state, and he was like kind of like that door for people to go out of town. Like, no, people from here really don't go out of town to rap, which is crazy to me. But he really opened that door for people to go to Columbia, people to go to St. Louis, people to hit Iowa, people to go to OKC, Omaha, Denver, you know what I'm saying? Like that connect, all those connects are there because of Steady. And then even like, promoters that tried to get the shit cracking early, like Troy Van Horn did the Crazy Boy Status shit. Remember, yeah, I don't know if you remember, there was like he did like one of the first hip hop festivals in the city. Like it was called Section 8, and it was like Lil B came, fucking who else was on that show?
Is this
There was
around
a
the
lot.
same? Is this around
This
like
was like around
2010, 11?
2012, you know what I mean? 2010, 2012, like, and these are like the first people that I knew to get the culture really going. Cause I started with show promoting. I didn't actually like really just start doing rapping and like all this. And that's not how I met all these people. Like I met a lot of people just because I used to help promote shows. Like I went to JUCO. Troy reached out to me, you know what I'm saying? And like, fucking just, I would help promote the shows. I would pass out the flyers and shit. He was the first person to bring Wiz Khalifa through, you know what I'm saying? First person to bring Mac Miller, you know what I mean? Like all that. So it's like, I got to meet some of them cats early on before I was even rapping, you know what I'm saying? And that's what like inspired me to like be, meeting some of these people. Like I met Wiz Khalifa back when fucking Flight School came out, you know what I'm saying? Like, and he was
So
just
long ago.
he was at KU doing like a show at on camp. It was like at one of the sorority or fraternity houses on campus and shit that Troy booked for them. And we got to meet him, kick it with him. And this was before I rapped. And I was like, and I met Wiz and I was like, man, I can rap. I can do this. Cause he was just there. This is before his big blow up. You know what I'm saying? This was after he had got signed and then he left Warner and he was doing shit independently and they flew here and drove there. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it was just like some nigga shit, you know what I mean? Like they were trying to figure it out, you know what I'm saying? And it was just talking about like I remember talking to him and he was just kind of like, he's like, we just trying to do what we can to figure it out. We just do what we can, man. And I was like, man, like if this is what rap's about, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to be a part of that. So I just really started like pushing myself and pushing the pen because it's like, okay, like if I rapped, right, you know what I'm saying? If I made music, I can get shows. You know what I'm saying? I can work with Troy. I can get shows. Like, that's how I opened up for Big Crit back in the day. That's how I opened up, done my currency shit, because it's like those are the things that I'm attached to. And I already had like some of the connects before I even started. So like it was, you know, shout out to them because it's like without them in the beginning, this shit wouldn't exist. You know what I'm saying? Like the scene how it is now wouldn't even exist, bro.
Because that provides a foundation for people to like
Yeah,
lay
the
bricks on top
foundation
of.
of it.
You know,
Exactly, the foundation of it.
people often, and it's unfortunate because people often forget about the individuals who lay a foundation. But you got to understand, like you gotta pay respects to what provided you an opportunity to be where you're at, especially if like new artist or whatever it might be, whether you're an artist or whether you're in some other industries. Like, yo, the foundation is laid by the old heads. You got to always pay respect to the individuals who's been there from the beginning. So I wanted to ask you about your favorite artist or producer to work with. They don't have to be here locally, they can be outside wherever, but just your favorite artist or producer to work with.
To work with that I've worked with before,
Yes,
that I
yes.
love working with. Shit, I'd have to say right now, the the dude that I've had the most fun working with is my boy Wes Cornell. He's from LA, Long Beach. You know what I'm saying? We did a project called 1027 last year, and we paired it up with a short film, at the same time. So we were reporting this project, doing a short film, flying back and forth from here to LA, shooting. And we always just compliment each other on the track, man. Like, he'll send me something and I'll send it back a day later. You know what I mean? He's one of the few artists that I'm like that with. Then you got Scotty Wu. Scotty Wu is my favorite artist to kind of collab with and work with because, he was also my tour DJ too at the same time. When we go on tour together, we would DJ each other's sets. We just work really well together, production wise. And we also like lived together at a point in time. So we knocked a lot of shit out. We had this house and we had built a studio up in the top of it. You know what I'm saying? So we was just always in that bitch, just like going crazy. And yeah, I'd say those are my two favorite, like as far as like, people that I know, that have like real relationships with, um, and they push me going forward. Like they push my creative bar pretty high, you know what I'm saying? So, that's what I like to do. I like working with the homies, man. Like I'm not like necessarily the person to like be like, oh, I need a big feature
Right.
or I need to, do all this. I need to, you know, I need to get this producer that's huge. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like it don't even matter. Like for real. I feel like, when you do what you like are intuitively like trying to do, you know what I'm saying? Like when you gotta let your intuition speak. So like my intuition tells me it's like, hey, just work with the homies and all the rest of that shit's gonna come. You know what I mean? Like it comes with it. So,
That's real. That's real.
that's what I do.
And can you kind of talk about like going back and forth to Long Beach? Like, what are some things you like about Long Beach? What was that experience like? Your show in February. Just what do you like about LA? What do you like? I mean, LA and Long Beach are like technically the same, but also very different.
It's
So like,
very different places.
so
And Long Beach is definitely more community based.
hell
You
yeah,
know what I mean? My friend, Wes, he used to have a store out there called Play Nice. He's not a part of it no more, but we used to go out there. That was like the hub. You know what I mean? And we go out there, just kick it. Make sure like they would do pop ups at the store and shit. And so that's how I met a lot of people in Long Beach. In general, and develop kind of like a fan base
Mhm.
type shit out there, and but it's just always been love every time I go out there. That's why I like LA so much, is because I feel like things move 3 times faster. You know what I mean? And then the shows are bigger. It's a good time, and then on top of that, it's just like people just like if they fuck with you, they fuck with you out there, and you fuck around, be backstage at whatever shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, you just end up being in those right rooms, and your mind really comes, what you think about really comes to life there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember going out there with my friend KJ, uh, and he'd be out there like, oh man, I hope I see Tyler again, because him and Tyler the Creator used to be kind of cool. And he's like, oh, I hope I see Tyler. I hope I see Tyler. And he just keep talking about it. And then we seen this nigga on Fairfax. You know what I'm saying?
He
Like, and he
really
was
do be
never
on
talked to.
Fairfax though. It's
Yeah,
hilarious.
yeah,
Like he
exactly.
really is like there religiously. Like every time I've seen Tyler, I just moved back from LA, and every time I saw Tyler, it was literally on Fairfax.
On
There's no cap. That
Fairfax.
boy is on Fairfax a lot.
Yeah. So, but that's the cool thing about LA too, is like, the people that you think are so like the celebrity type, you know what I'm saying? And you'll fuck around, just run into him, and it'd be like some normal ass shit.
Some human shit.
Yeah, because my boy KJ, he used to work at Gold Gods. So I was on Fairfax all the time just because that's where he worked. And I just post up. I go there and just work on my own shit. You know what I'm saying? To see KJ while he was at his shift and stuff, and walk up and down Fairfax, try and get a job. Never got a job. You know what I'm saying? But that's for a reason at the end of the day. But just kind of like mingling with folks, like people are just, it's just cool out there, you know what I mean? And especially if you got dope shit, like, because out there, everybody do this shit. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah,
Like
that's real. Like
everybody do this shit.
everybody. Yeah.
Everybody's a creative director. Everybody's a rapper. Everybody's a producer. You know what I'm saying? But it's like when I think it's really cool that I can go out there, and I went out there and, I can really like I'm blessed I can really maneuver out there the way, I can. Because a lot of people, they'll be like, oh, I'm going to LA, and all they do is just get an Airbnb and shoot a music
Stuck in
video.
there, right?
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
like, and I'm like, man, I'm really actually blessed. I get to actually like be involved in like some of the community shit that go on. Like, I fuck with Selection super heavy. You know what I'm saying? So I'm always kicking it with those dudes, and like, the DJ scene out there is so fucking crazy. You know what I mean? Like, so, I just love the just the vibe and the ambiance, and being able to meet different DJs, meet different artists and stuff like that that are really about their shit, and they believe in me too. So I just feel blessed. I get to go out there and do what I do.
Absolutely. And is there any like artists that were influential to your music or just thought process or anything like I know you mentioned Dom Kennedy, but speaking of Long Beach, did Snoop Dogg have any influences on you, or
Oh
is that
yeah, for
somebody you're
sure. For sure. That was the first album I bought by myself, was Doggy Style. For real. Like, when the first CD I ever bought myself for myself was Doggy Style, the remaster. Because that shit came out in like what, 96.
Right.
So, when I started getting into rap, my step pops, he always had a crazy rap CD collection. Like, I got hip to rap real early because my parents didn't really censor the music that we listened to. You know what I'm saying? Like, my mom would definitely be in the car bumping the R&B, the TLC. She loved TLC. Yeah. So I got like the feminine aspect of music from her, because she used to listen to the TLC, who else you used to listen to, Mom? Johnny Gill. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, she's just instrumental type music, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, blues and jazz, a little bit of country in there. I ain't fuck with it, but it's cool to have in the arsenal, you
Absolutely.
know. But and then my stepdad, he used to listen to a lot of rap. So like, he had every rap CD that you can think of back in the day, like every Jay-Z album, every Nas album, he loved DMX. I think that was his favorite, DMX, because my stepdad was real into motorcycles and shit like that growing up. So he was all about the Rough Riders shit, you know what I'm saying? So, DMX was, It's Dark and Hell is Hot. I love that album. You know what I mean? Like, just kind of like just that early shit, you know what I'm saying? Like that late 90s, like, Ghostface Killer, he had all the Wu-Tang shit. Like, he had everything, and I would just borrow his CDs. And then my mom introduced me to the, kind of like the R&B side. So I like Usher. I like, you know what I'm saying? Like all that
I'm gonna
shit.
pause you right there because I've been seeing this argument go around recently. All right, so there's been two arguments. Number one was, like who winning in a versus battle, Usher or Chris Brown?
Usher, because without Usher, Chris Brown wouldn't exist.
Woo, there we go, gems done.
Yeah.
And then another one I saw was Usher and John Legend, just based off of like vocals and singing.
Legend for sure. Vocals
John
and singing.
John Legend is nice.
Yeah, he's nice, but the thing is like, I feel like they're not comparable though. You know what I'm
Facts,
saying?
because
Because they make
it's
two
technically
different
two
types
different
of
genres,
R&B.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's two different genres of R&B. If anybody you would compare John Legend to, it'd be Ryan Leslie.
Or Maxwell, maybe.
Or Maxwell kind of. Yeah, Maxwell, I get you could do that. But Maxwell didn't play no instruments.
Facts.
You know what I
Facts.
mean?
So
So
Ryan
I
Leslie for
was,
sure.
yeah, I think John Legend and Ryan Leslie, that was like the battle going up, and John Legend won. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, do you
But
remember?
Ryan Leslie's still crazy dope.
Absolutely. Do you remember that video that went viral of Ryan Leslie and he was creating my addiction to you?
Oh yeah, that's the thing they use. The meme, they're always like, when I go into Guitar Center.
Right, right.
Yeah, yeah.
Yo, that is the hardest video of all time. I used to watch that at least 3 times a day, bro. Like, yo, yo. And then he's like, coming to the stage. Yo,
Yeah, man.
nice, nice, man. But
But that's how it's supposed to be. That's that love for music. You can feel the energy. You know what I
absolutely.
mean?
That's why I really like that, man. It's like certain people, man, that brings me to the topic of content, man. So
Mm-hmm.
first, the last music video you dropped, hard, super fire, super duper
Thanks.
fire. Um, Matter of fact, speak on that. Like, what's the inspiration behind? I wrote it
Uh,
down
Hold
somewhere.
It Down.
Yes, yeah. What's the inspiration behind that song? And then that's going to lead me into a little bit outside of music on the topic of meditation, spirituality, and things of that nature. But yeah, can you talk about that song real quick?
Yeah,
Inspiration.
for sure. Man, Hold It Down was a crazy song because I made it in like 40 minutes, the whole thing.
So
So
it's a
I,
fire song.
what's crazy is the dude that shot that video, like the actual video, he shot my process video of like how I like be making beats and shit sometimes. Like I'll go to the record store, find some records, see if
That
I can chop some
Quincy.
shit up from him. Yeah, Quincy. Yeah. So he was with me when I went to the record store to find that Mandrill album. And like I was there and I heard the sample I wanted to use. And, that day I made that beat, you know what I'm saying? That he shot like to the process of like how I like be making music and sampling shit. And I found the record, made the beat in like 20 minutes, and I just started writing to that shit. And even when he was there, he was like, "Oh, we're gonna shoot a video to this." He's like, he was just vibing, you know what I'm saying? We were just vibing while I was making the track, and then we ended up shooting a video to it. And he came up with the idea, like the meditation and all that. But really just behind making that song, it was I made that song like this. When I made it, I was like, oh, this is my re-entry to the game, because I had took like a couple years off and I was just kind of DJing, getting my bread up, you know what I'm saying? Like getting my network up, traveling and doing my thing or whatever. And when I made that song, I felt like it was like kind of like the perfect re-entry song for me. Um, and it's the best song I've ever put out. It's the best streaming numbers I've ever did on a song, all that. And it's that feeling, you know what I'm saying? But I just had that feeling while making it. And, I don't know, like it's like I always hold it down, you know what I'm saying? You have to hold it down. So it's like, I was just like, man, like how can I like I was thinking about like, yo, like how can I reintroduce myself to the to the game, to this rap shit again. And
Absolutely.
that's what I did. And just so happened I happened to be on both ends. Like I made the beat and I rapped on it,
I
which
love it. Shit was
yeah,
hard.
that.
It was super hard, man. I really loved it. And then it like the beginning with the meditation scene and everything like that. It's funny because like you really give off that vibe like naturally. So I wanted to like ask, like kind of transition. Is meditation, is spirituality, are things like that actually involved in your life? And if so, like
Yeah,
what does that look like for you?
man, of course, man. I try to do it every morning if I can. I definitely didn't this morning, you know what I'm saying? But I had to come get my hair braided, you know what I'm saying? So I had to, get ready for that. But I try to hit meditation first thing when I wake up, man. I try to wake up at 7:30 every day. That's usually the first thing I do, if I can help it.
And why
And
why do you
and
find
if
that
not
important?
like and if not like physically meditating, I'm always praying. Like I always pray. I have my own way of prayer. I don't pray to like religiously, you know what I mean? Like, cause to me, praying is more about feeling and knowing, you know what I'm saying? It's about, I really believe in manifestation. I believe in training your subconscious mind to believe the things that you want, you already got them, you know what I'm saying? And, I feel like that's just part of, you know, I feel like that should be part of everybody's life. Spirituality is a real subjective term, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like, it's just how you get in tune with your higher self. Some people do that through Christ. You know what I'm saying? Some people do that through Satan, you know what I'm saying? And Lucifer. Some people do that through Allah. Some people do that with Buddha, you know what I'm saying? And like through those teachings and stuff like that. But what I like to do personally is like I've taken a lot from all of that shit. I think it's all real. All them are real. Allah's real. Buddha was a real person. Christ was definitely a real person. But I also think that like sometimes the teachings get a little bit misconstrued and it uses them as a system of control, especially Christianity. You know what I'm saying? So I never was like, I kind of went to church and stuff growing up. My grandma was real into church and stuff growing up, and we would go to Sunday school. We would hit the Wednesdays every now and then, and I had my experience with Christianity, and like, I really just like took what I took from it, you know what I'm saying, and developed kind of like my own belief system that kind of helps myself. And I feel like that's truly what spirituality is. It's like, really trying to like find the things that help you from every aspect of any kind of belief system that's out there, and use that and tune into that. And that's what like takes you to your destination. But the truth is about all that shit is that there is no destination. It's like a constant journey. Like that's
Yep.
what life is. There is no destination to this shit. There's no like, oh, I'm gonna get here and I'm gonna be good. Nah, because there's more shit to happen. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
There's so much to happen, and so much to do. So like I really use my thought process and my spirituality, which is, to me, I was talking to somebody earlier because I have a lot of people that hit me up on like, yo, like I'm trying to like learn more about this, and do you have any books I can read, and yada yada yada. But in the end, you can read every book on earth, you know what I'm saying, and still not grasp the shit, because all it is knowing. You know what I'm saying? If you know, you don't need to read shit. You know what I'm saying? You don't need all the teachings. You don't even everything that I read that I be thinking about. I don't even need all that to believe in what I believe in. You know what I'm saying? Like you just know. You know what I mean? It's like if you just know, like God got you. I'm gonna be successful. I know what I'm trying. It's like the clarity comes from just knowing and being. You know what I'm saying? And with the meditation, I feel like it's more of a chance for you to be still and to clear your mind and not and be able to let those things like, it's like a deflecting, you know what I'm saying? Like all them thoughts that you have when you meditate, and it like just bounces right off of you. And you're not supposed to not think when you meditate. You're supposed to just like let the shit pass, you know what I'm saying? Be like, oh, just let it go, I call it subconscious engineering. That's what I said in a message today. I'm like, oh, that sounds tight. I never thought of that before. But yeah, subconscious engineering. It's just like just training your subconscious to automatically do the work for you. You know what I'm saying? And then through you doing the work in the physical realm, you know what I'm saying? Everything that you ever wanted is going to happen in the physical realm. And when you really think about it, like I feel like when you know you have these things, when you have, you know what I'm saying? Like it's like, oh, I got that already. You just visualize it and you just think about it, and it's all you think about, shit like that. Not necessarily obsessive to where you do anything to get the shit, you know what I'm saying? But it's like you just like feel like you got it already. When you driving in you know what I'm saying? When you driving in the bucket, just like imagine that shit is a Benz, and I guarantee you'll get a Benz. Like, you know what I'm saying? At some point in time. Some point in time. It may not happen in 2-3 days, you know what I'm saying? But it might happen, like months from now, and you never even know how the shit happens. And like and and through all this shit, I learned that like not everything that you do is gonna happen by your own hand. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes like shit just be happening, bro. And like, I've seen people get money out of nowhere. You know what I mean? Like I'll talk to a friend, he's like, oh, I'm really down in the dumps. I'm trying to like get this car, yada yada yada, but shit just keeps on happening to me. I'm like, bro, trust me, just keep believing, bro. Like, and you might not even earn the money yourself. You know what I'm saying? You might just get gifted the money. And I actually had a friend who like was having so much problems in his life, and like his parents were trying to kick him out, and like his car was broke down. And I worked at Off Broadway Shoe Warehouse with him, you know what I'm saying? And he always used to come to me like for that inspiration. I was like, yo, bro, like check this out. Like you gonna get that bread. Like whatever you need, you gonna get it. And sure enough, like 2 weeks later, his friend just like gave him 2 racks for no reason. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, I know you got shit going on. Just take that and pay me back. Don't even trip, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, bro, like the shit really be happening like that. So,
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love that.
so it's really in God's hands, and it's in yours. And I feel like you really co-create, you know what I'm saying? You co-create your reality with the people that are around you, and everybody around you is a reflection of you and shit like that. So that's how I work, you know what I mean? And I'm just conscious of it.
That's real. That was fire. Basically, you just dropped 10 minutes of fire, dog.
Yeah, man. I just feel like you
I don't
just
even
gotta
got a
be.
response.
Well, when you conscious of the shit, that's what makes the difference. You know what I'm saying? When you sit here and you're like, there's more to life than what I see, that's when the shit starts happening. And honestly, all that shit came from shit starting to smoke good weed and shit when I was 18, 19 years old. You know, like because in high school I didn't think like that. Like I wasn't like that growing up. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't know what the fuck I was doing for real. And then I got a hold of some orange kush one day and started just
And life
thinking
changed.
about whether Tupac was alive or not.
He was like, wait. I love
There's
that.
more to the world.
There's more. There's more than this. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. So I got a few like, you know, quote unquote deep questions, and then
Okay.
I'll let you slide, man. But I do want to say thank you for the time you've extended so far. I'm really enjoying this interview, and I hope the guests that are listening right now or watching are enjoying as well. You know,
Sure.
for me, getting to know the creatives in the city and even outside the city, because not everybody on the podcast is from KC, but getting to know people from the city and really understand a little bit more about who they are as an individual outside of just seeing them as a creative on social is always a
Sure.
blessing. So I appreciate your time. But simple but hard question. In your own mind, like, can you define what it means to be a good person? Like for you, I mean, I'm not telling you to define what a good person is for someone else, but for you yourself, like what defines you being a good person?
I feel like just having the right intentions. Everybody fucks up. You know what I mean? I don't think your past defines you. And being able to look past that shit for everybody else too. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody got their own stuff going on. But I really just think it's based off intention. If you have the intention of hurting somebody, then you're not a good person. You know what I mean? Now, if you hurt somebody without the intention of hurting somebody, that's subjective. You know what I'm saying? For sure. But you know, and it's just learning from your mistakes and shit like that. So, there and learning when to exit those cycles and to start new cycles and evolve and stuff. I think that's what defines like a really good person, is like knowing their rights and wrongs and being conscious of it and being able to face themselves in the mirror every day and being like, yo, like, you know, last year I fucked up doing this, you know what I'm saying? But today is different. I ain't going, and just kind of learning as you go. Um, and always trying to be there for people in your best capacity without taking too much away from yourself, because you can be, people be like, they call it being too good of a person, when you're too
Right.
giving or you're too, you know, too much of something, because I mean, too much of anything is bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, I believe in keeping balance and, being able to balance emotions and stuff like that. So, really just learning from your experiences, your environment, the people around you, and really being able to listen to motherfuckers too, you know what I'm saying? And take their opinions into account and, try more or less trying to understand rather than forcing your opinions or your kind of like how you do shit, because there ain't nobody like you on earth, you know what I'm saying, and the universe, really, you know what I'm saying. There's not another Dom Chronicles, there's not another you out there ever, you know what I'm saying. So it's like really just like kind of taking that into account and being like, yo, like I think this way, but there's other ways of thought, and being okay with it, being okay with people having their opinions and, what they doing. So I feel like that's what makes you a good person, is just ultimately being understanding of yourself, the world, and, things beyond the world and, other people's experiences.
Yeah, I think the language you used was perfect in regards to saying like ending cycles and starting new ones. And then
Mm,
also like moving with pure intentions. Oftentimes people will move in an intention that they assume is pure, but somehow still hurt somebody else. But back to what you said also, if you listen to why you hurt them, and that was just a process, that's just how you move, that's just your thought process. Now you can be like, okay, this hurt this person, I can see how that could hurt somebody. I'm going to end that cycle of behavior that I once thought was pure, and I'm going to
Exactly.
start a new cycle and repeat that until,
Yeah,
I'm being someone
exactly.
else. So I
And
love that.
also just realizing, like, if you want people in your life, you know what I'm saying? Like, you have to be understanding of what hurts them and like who they are as a person. So like you have to like really, it's just like being in a relationship for real. You know what I mean? And I feel like when you're a good person, the most important relationship you can have is with yourself. You know what I mean? So, and holding yourself accountable
Oh
and
yeah,
learning from that.
I love that. I love that. So as an artist, oftentimes when we're like growing up and we're looking at other creatives or people that, didn't go the traditional route, like a lot of people get impressed by and strive for things like jewelry or lots of money or cars or
For
big
sure.
houses, a lot of material things. And I'm not saying there's anything bad in that, because that does help you, along your path of like staying motivated. But
For
for
sure.
you, what does living a fulfilled life or a successful life look like to Dom Chronicles?
Man, my family being straight, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, everybody being healthy and in good mind states around me. And you know, my big thing is, you know, as long as I'm happy for myself, you know what I'm saying? Like I like, that's what success is to me. Success is happiness, you know what I mean? And yeah, the material shit's cool, you know what I'm saying? Got the little Lex, got the loft and shit, you know what I'm saying? But that really all came from my mind state. It didn't come from me like being like, oh, I want these. I rap because I want a Mercedes. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right,
I don't
right,
think
right.
that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? If anything, like I'm here to inspire and like really just knowing your purpose and stuff like that. I feel like just, you know, what motivates me to do what I do is just knowing that my purpose is to raise the vibration of the planet in the best way I can from this single body right here. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, you know, I that's my goal ultimately, is to help raise the vibration, help people think more in depth about things, and like, you know, and it's more to life than all this shit. You know what I'm saying? This is like this ain't even real. You know what I'm saying? Like, to be honest with you. So, you know, I really think it's all like, you know, it's all like a play at the end of the day, and like it just really depends on like, you know, how you want. I don't know. It's just kind of like how you want things, you know, in your life. There are people that are cool with having nothing and they're happy. That's their heaven. You know what I'm saying? Like that's cool. That, you know, there's people that are cool with having a Toyota Camry. You know what I mean? Like,
True. Yeah.
you know, it doesn't matter. Like that shit don't matter, because like with or without the jewelry, or with or without whatever car niggas be wanting, you still have to be you with or without that shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's like my motivation is just knowing that, like, you know, I'm out here just inspiring people, and I got people in my DMs asking me, what book should I read? You know what I'm saying? I'm looking for some knowledge, because I feel like the whole thing is about wisdom and knowledge of self. You know what I'm saying? That's why we're here. We're here to learn about ourselves. You know what I'm saying? We're here to learn about, you know, the, you know, this world that we live in. We haven't even discovered 70% of the ocean and shit. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
crazy.
Like,
That's crazy
yeah,
too.
there's so
Right.
much about like life and the earth and like humans that we don't even know. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I feel like as long as you're on like a quest for wisdom and knowledge and trying to be like the, you know, someone that raises the vibration and helps people, we're here to help each other. You know what I'm saying? Like that's our whole point of being human and being on earth, is to help each other reach that top. You know what I'm saying? That pinnacle of you know, our human race and shit like that. So I mean, there are people
Absolutely.
helping that. There are people suppressing it. You know what I'm saying? There are people elongating the process. Because to be honest with you, you know what I'm saying? We should have been on different planets by now. You know what I'm saying? If you really think about the
Facts,
shit, you
facts,
know what
facts.
I'm saying? With the
I just like the way
technology
you
that
said
we
that.
got. Yeah, we like, as a human race, bro, we should be way more advanced, dog. Because for real, you know, I believe in the Atlanteans. You know what I'm saying? I believe in like, you know, how they built the pyramids. Everybody be like, oh, aliens built the pyramids. I'm like, nah, black people built the pyramids. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like we, you know, there's a lot of like stuff about our own heritage has been like suppressed from us, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I feel like just finding that out and learning who our true selves are, like I think that's our constant goal here as a soul on earth, you know what I'm saying? Like this body, you know what I'm saying, this just temporary, you know what I mean? Like, you know, once I die, my soul goes back to the source, and then I'm going to inhabit something else, you know what I'm saying? Or I'm just going to stay there, or I'm going to move to a different density, you know, so of, you know, dimension. So, you know, I think about it like I'm always just trying to evolve for my soul, you know what I mean? And that's what success is to me. It's like, you know, when I die, I ain't coming back here. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? Earth is a place to learn for me. Like it's a soul journey. Like Earth is a place. My soul voluntarily came here and forgot who the fuck it was so it can learn. You know what I'm saying? That's how I think about it. And my goal is to get off this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know,
That's fire. That's real.
you know, so that's my motivation at the end of the day. And it's real deep. It's different, scientific, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But to me, that's science. You know what I'm saying? It's energy at the end of the day. It's all energy. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, my goal is to figure out, you know, how to get people off this bitch with me, you know what I'm saying? Like, because the earth is crazy. It's definitely a training ground for the soul. And, you know, we all learning in our own different ways.
Yes, sir. Damn.
Yeah.
Fuego. Fuego.
Yeah.
You know, I see if I had that updated technology, I'd hit it with the
Yeah, for
you
sure.
feel me? No, that was fire. I appreciate that. Man, so with all these bombs being dropped and all this fire, knowledge, wisdom, and just good energy, I'm gonna leave us and the listeners with one final question.
Sure.
Oh, Dom Chronicles, it's your last day on Earth. You are 175, and but nah. Either way, it's your last day on Earth, wherever you want to live till, and you have all this content, music, books, stories, documentaries on your life, but it leaves Earth, like it disappears, it's gone. But your grandkids are sitting right in front of you, and you know you're leaving in 1 hour, but you have nothing to leave to them but the words you're about to say right now. What are two pieces of advice you would leave your grandchildren with how they should lead a life of happiness or lead a life of success here on Earth?
Um, know thyself, you know what I'm saying? And treat others how you want to be treated, man.
Love it.
That's really it, you know, because I feel like this whole shit is based off relationships, and like, you know, how you get to where you get is based off who you are, you know. So the more you know who you are, the more you know about yourself, and the more you project the type of energy you want to receive, everything happens from that. You know what I mean?
Yes.
That's just that's the basics. You know what I mean? From there, you learn everything else.
Yes, sir. I love it. I love it. Well, Dom, can you please leave the listeners with where they can find your music, where they can support you at, or what in what ways can my listeners support you?
Man, just go stream me, bro. Like that's all we can do right now. You know what I'm saying? Dom Chronicles on everything. DomChronicles. You know what I'm saying? That's my ad name on everything. You know, I just dropped a project called Let's Go Outside. You know, just take a listen, see if it resonates. You know what I'm saying? I know my music don't resonate with everybody, and I'm okay with that. You know what I'm saying? But you never know. But to the ones that do resonate, the ones that know me already, thank you. You know what I'm saying? You're the reason I'm here doing what I do today. And you know, I just, you know, more of that. You know what I mean? Like I'm just trying to like create a community, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, I don't want to be the only artist niggas listen to. You know what I'm saying? So I you know, just, you know, listen to me, you know, like try my shit out, listen to my shit. If it resonates, it resonates. If it's cool, if it don't, cool. I'm gonna write a book here pretty soon. You might just fuck with that, you know what I'm saying? You might not
Yes,
fuck with the music, but you might fuck with the book though, you know what I'm saying? So just kind of stay tuned to my creative endeavors. You find me Dom Chronicles, domchronicles.com, Apple Music, Bandcamp, all that shit. I'm easy to find, man.
yes, sir. Also, shout out to your DoorDash commercial, High with the Hair Fly. and playing video games. I see you
I
out
don't
here
even
for the
play that
culture.
game, though. I don't even play Rocket League, nigga.
Hey, it is what it is.
It is what it is, though. You know what I'm saying?
For
I'm just
sure.
trying to get that check too, for sure. But
Got to.
you know, yeah. But you can find me on the PSN too. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
Shadow Moon
that.
Deluxe. You know what I'm saying? I'll be on the Ghost of Tsushima all fucking day. So let's go.
My God. Well, we'll definitely have to do another episode talking about anime and Japanese culture, because I know you're into all that. So we'll talk about that in the future. But thank you again for this interview. Thank you again for your time. And listeners of the Culture Talks podcast, leave a 5-star review. Leave a comment. That's the only way we can grow. And go support my guy, Dom. Much love.
Hey, peace out, bro. Thank you.
Yes, sir.